Viewer discretion is advised. In this video I will be deer hunting, so if this video doesn't appeal to you, please turn away now.
Hey guys and girls, it's Fox Green here again, and today you join me on a very different type of video. Today I'll be taking you on a live deer hunt with my new Insta 360 camera. We start off the hunt in the early hours of the morning. We decide to go high up into the mountains and try and stalk some deer first of all. We do get eyes on 2 deer in the distance and start to make our long hike up towards them. However, when we get to the desired shooting position, the deer have gone over to the backside of the mountain. Nonetheless, we got a great fresh air and we got to see some amazing scenery. Later that day we try out a different spot. This time it's in the woods. On arrival, I load up the magazine for the rifle with 5 rounds, while Glen gets the dog ready. He's bringing his dog Archie with us. He wants him to get used to tracking and smelling deer. We are parked in this location and going to make our way through these small woods to the river crossing point here, where we'll come across our first shooting point at the deer in this position. After this shot, we'll progress through the woods further to the second shooting position. As the wind is coming from this direction, we should be fine.
We've knocked down trees and all inside here to make pathways for ourselves.
Yeah.
Well,
Once suited and booted, we get ready to move out.
We're going to use these old trees that are falling down to cross the river.
However, Glen needs to bring his dog Archie across with him by carrying him. It's a tricky crossing point, but once we're across, we're into the first shooting area. Within a few minutes, Glen gets sight of 2 deer in the distance. He lines up a shot through all the trees. I try to get the camera ready, but as I have to hold the dog, it's proving very difficult, and I can't get eyes on the deer. The deer are constantly moving, so Glen needs to get into a different location to see if he can get a shot. And he does. He lands a perfect shot on the deer. We decide to make our way up and test out the dog. When we get close enough, we're going to leave him off to see if we can track the deer where it is.
No, it was okay. It was okay. Like a bit of a jump, yeah.
The deer was approximately 200 meters away when Glen made the shot. Just 40 meters back from the deer, Glen leaves off the dog to see how quickly he can locate him. Sure enough, he walks straight up to him. It's this dog's first time encountering a deer on a hunt. With that deer gutted, we leave him in place and push on further to see if we can spot any more. We're going to an opening in the woods that Glen has previously cleared a pathway through to, which is a popular area for herds of deer to gather. I notice en route that the dog picks up a trail and starts to smell and pull aggressively in a certain direction. We decide to follow where the dog is leading us. The dog seems to be going in the direction that we anticipated the deer to go in. We take our time stopping and looking very carefully, and trying to move as quietly as possibly through the woods. After a while, I pick up some fresh deer tracks.
Fresh enough there, right? Fresh enough there, right?
We suspect that the deer have ran this way when they heard our first shot. And the dog is pulling very hard on this track, so it looks like we will come across them again. We're now in the path that Glen has cleared previously into the opening. It looks like the deer have followed this path through the trees that Glen has cleared. I decide to take control of the dog as we're nearing the area where we think the deer are going to be. At this stage, the dog is pulling extremely hard. It's like holding onto a small horse. Crossing this ditch with the dog pulling me so hard was pretty easy. I decide to give Glen a bit of room now because we're getting so close. I want him to get eyes on before the dog gives him away. Sure enough, just a few steps in the clearing, Glen spots deer. I must now do my best to get my camera out while holding the dog and find the exact deer that Glen is about to take aim on. I'm pretty sure I have the same deer and give him the green light to shoot. Captured it perfectly on camera. Let's see that again in a replay, and you can see all the other 9 deer run off.
So I don't even know if it's safe. Oh, he's there.
Again, we move down to this deer, and once we get in a close enough position, we're going to leave the dog off and see what he does. Within seconds, he gets down and finds a deer, which is a really good sign.
Good dog.
Quick. Oh my God, Glen, he's a different dog now.
Yeah.
He's also getting much more excited with barking, so this is a very good sign for him. This shot was about 250 meters approximately. This deer fell straight where it was shot. It was a perfect clean kill.
He found them all by himself, lad. He second I left him off the I can't believe you were on the one deer that I was on. There was 10 other deer there.
I know, yeah. I just kind of picked them
Well,
up.
everything worked in perfect harmony.
Right, you might as well cut into him. If you can get this yoke out of him. It's taking tufts out of him.
Before Glen can gut the deer, I must get the dog off of it. He's extremely excited, as you can see.
Good boy, Archie.
Good dog.
After a few minutes, Glen has the deer gutted, which will significantly lighten the load for us carrying them back to the van. We begin our route back to the first deer. We will then take a deer each. We'll have to cross the river, which will be the tricky part, and get him back to the van.
Taking a straight line back to the other one. God almighty, you got fair heavy there for a second.
Who's this jackass
He's
of a dog?
inside it while we're trying to pull it.
Archie.
The dog is playing havoc with Glen.
We didn't try to eat him when he stopped at all. He just tried to eat him when he fucking... he's driving on now.
Back to the first deer we shot earlier, we both take one up each and start moving back through the woods. It's not long before we get to the river crossing, and this time we decide to cross in a totally different location, which is probably a bit safer,
Are you going
however
for it?
it's still
You
treacherous
unload?
nonetheless.
You're unloaded.
Again, it's another fallen tree across the river, but it's much larger. We both bring our deers down to the river where we get ready to walk across this tree. As you can see, it's quite difficult, and carrying the deers across this again, the water is quite fast flowing here, and falling in would not be fun. We have to take our time very slowly. Prior to this, Glen crosses the river first and leaves the rifle on the far side.
Where's the guy?
He's here.
Once Glen gets his across, he comes back to give me a hand.
He's bloody on the flip. He's gonna go. He's still there.
The dog is still going, by.
Well, he made it across that tree.
Yeah.
With both deers successfully across the river, now we have to start the hike back to the van. There's one last hard hurdle, which is this ditch, which you have to get the deer up before it's flat ground all the way back. Dragging these deer for 800 meters is not easy, and it starts to get very hard after a while. We take many breaks on the way. In some ways, bringing the deer back was as fun as the hunt itself.
He's very happy.
Oh, he's unreal. He's loving it.
We're on the home stretch now, almost back to the van. Glen goes off and fetches the van so we can pick them up on the side of the road.
Good dog. First day out there. First day out, he got on the tour. Good track, isn't it?
This in many ways was the perfect stalk. 2 deer in quick succession in amazing woods with lovely weather. Couldn't ask for better.
He's hardly doing it.
You're not? Come on, up. Ah, he's up.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give it a like, and let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this type of video instead of my usual airsoft videos. I'm Fox Green, thanks for watching.